Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be sharing with you tips on how to stand out and a few secrets from a panelist. So yes, I have been part of the panelist as a musical director, and just last year I had my directorial debut with Bring It On the Musical. I'm sorry if you see my hair flying, it's really hot.
It's really hot.
Anyway, before I go on to the actual tips and secrets, I would like to introduce myself. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Abby Sulit. I am a freelance theater actor in the Philippines. So this channel is all about makeup and theater, two of the things I'm very passionate about. So if you love makeup and theater, please make sure to subscribe and be part of the family. You can also hit the notification bell. I post twice a week, every Wednesday and Saturday, 10 a.m. So let's go on to the tips. My first tip is to look presentable. Don't come into auditions looking like you just woke up. For girls, if you want to, you can put light makeup. For guys, just make sure you look presentable. If you're gunning for a role that has a certain look, you can actually try to look like that character. I actually have friends who have dressed up for auditions, so you can do that as well. Just make sure you look presentable. Another way to stand out is to act the song. Us panelists, okay, we don't like it when a singer does not have any emotion. Make sure to act out your song. That will make you stand out. You don't have to have a high belting song. The thing about an audition is it's a very short way for the audition panel to get to know your strengths as a performer. And usually during auditions, there are no reading auditions, okay? You don't get to act out, you don't get to do a monologue most of the time, okay? But you can act through your song. That's why my suggestion is to stand out, make sure to know your song well, and act it out. Okay, that's a plus if you can sing it well and if you can act it well. The next tip is to go for vocal quality. What I mean by that is you don't have to have a belty song to stand out. Okay, I am talking to all the altos and the basses there who are scared to audition because they feel like they're not going to stand out. You can stand out by going for vocal quality. You want the best vocal quality. Make me hear that thick voice of yours. The problem, to be honest, in the Philippines is if you belt a song,
Hey, that's great. You're in.
but that's not the case, especially for me as a musical director. When I look at the altos, especially if I need to cast the altos, I look for those whose quality is actually very good. I like hearing altos in their element, in their natural element. I love hearing their thick voices. Same for basses. I love hearing their low notes. Remove that whole idea that you need to belt during your auditions, alright? You do not have to belt to stand out. Yes, that is a plus. If you really want to show your strong chest voice, then great, go belt, go do a high song. But for altos and basses, I truly understand that if you do choose, like for example, a belting song, that could either make you or break you. You can be gutsy and be like, I am going to attempt to belt. But you know your own voice. Work on your low notes. I appreciate low notes. So work on your vocal quality. Work with your strengths. If you know you're not a belter, don't. If you know you're a mixer, then mix. Those are the things you can do to make you stand out. So now I'm gonna share with you guys some of the secrets or the behind the scenes
Behind the scenes.
of what actually happens during auditions as a panelist. So I will share with you guys some of the things that I have encountered during auditions. Okay, for auditions, guys, usually what happens is after you audition, we thank you and you leave, correct? And I already mentioned that in this video. After you leave, we actually talk about you. Yes, we do. If, for example, one of the people in the panel knows you, we usually talk about, if we've worked with you before, your professionalism. So I guess another tip to stand out is be professional all the time. Okay, we don't like people who are late. We have a saying, to be early is to be on time is to be late, and to be late is unacceptable. And I live by those rules. Sometimes I have not accepted people because someone told me that they were unprofessional. Even if they're really, really, really good, I would rather work with someone who I can train to be really good, but I don't want to work with someone who is unprofessional. Meaning, you don't study your materials in advance, you come to rehearsals late, or you give your castmates and your artistic team an attitude. So that is an important thing to remember. Another thing is, we usually talk about, obviously, your voice. If we like it or we don't like it. I personally talk about the quality of the voice. If I feel like, I know there are some people who sounds like they are trainable. So I actually talk to the panel and tell them that that voice kind of sounds like he or she is trainable. And I actually look at your resume. We really look at your resume, guys. So it's important to write down your education, like I mentioned in this video. Make sure to write down your music background or your dance background or your theater background. Yeah, so that's important. We talk about your education, like, oh, this person attended workshops with this person who is my mentor or something like that. That actually helps you stand out. Okay, so I guess that's another tip for you guys to stand out. Make sure your resume is good. Or actually, even the aesthetics of your resume can make you stand out. I have seen people with very good resumes and I'm like, ooh, I like this resume. I want to see this person. So that sets up the room for you before you actually enter. So again, I guess that's another tip for you guys. Make sure your resume is presentable. Make sure your picture is nice. That's also another way to stand out. Make sure your picture is nice. Again, you can have your picture taken at home. You don't have to do it in a studio. Okay? We talk about your theater credits. We check if you have done shows with certain companies. If you haven't, that's also okay. But sometimes, personally, as a musical director, I also get people who have no experience. Because I always believe that I should give a person a chance to experience a show. A person will never gain experience if nobody gives him a chance to perform. That's why usually I have newbies in my shows. We talk about your other notable performances. Like, we've had some who've done concerts. So that's pretty good. Your education, we talk about that. Talk about your professionalism. There's this one time, this guy who always auditions, the shirt and the beanie he wore was exactly the same as the one in his picture. And we were just laughing because we were raising the picture and then looking at him and we were just doing this. And it was like, did you just take this picture today? And he was like, yes. So yeah, we talk about that because it's cute, it's funny. We laugh. Okay, guys, the panelists, we have fun. It's not always just, oh, serious, oh, we're gonna do this, do that. No, we're fun, guys. We're fun people too. Okay? So yeah, we talk about the way you look. We also talk about, for example, if you did really well, we talk about the callback possibilities. Like, if we want to see you perform again, if we want to see you sing a different song, stuff like that. We talk about that because if you do a really good job, automatically we always think of a role for you, whether you're part of the ensemble or we have a certain role to give you for callbacks. So yes, if you're really good, then that's what we almost always talk about right after you leave. Like, there's this one time, I think it was Adam's Family, every after auditions and we feel like that person fits a certain role, we actually say the role. Like, agad we say, oh, Morticia, oh, Wednesday, oh, Gomez. We say that and then we write it down on your resume or your registration form. We write it down what role we want you called back for. Usually we write down 2 or 3 or maybe just 1. If not 1, it's either a lead or ensemble. Sometimes just ensemble, okay? But yeah, we write that down immediately so that we don't forget. So that's what happens when you're really, really good. We actually write down. And then we talk about your professionalism. And then we talk about your song choice. If we feel like, oh, maybe that wasn't a good song choice. Or maybe his or her range may not fit the role we want them to be called back. Do you get me? But we do talk about all these things, especially if you're really, really good. We also talk about your personality. When you come in, we actually grade you already basing on how, for example, you talk to our pianist. We already grade you on that. We don't like cocky attitudes, guys. No, don't. We don't like it when you're overly like,
I'm so good and I know it. And when you sing, you know you sound great and all that.
I mean, guys,
Humility.
humility is key, y'all. Do not be overly cocky. It's not gonna work. It's really not gonna work. I mean, I know it's bad to judge someone straight up, but again, first impressions say a lot. So you want to be able to give out a good first impression.
What else do we talk about in the audition panel?
Sometimes we talk about ourselves, what happened during the day or what happened like before the auditions or that before that week. We're human, guys. We talk about our lives too during auditions. We're not just all work. We talk about what we want to eat, like are we hungry, what we want to order. Like for example, because this was my recent one, during Bring It On auditions, we talked a lot about eating. We talked about buying stuff online, if I'm correct. Yes, I think. Yeah, because I remember talking about buying a mermaid blanket. You know those mermaid tails? And I wanted to give everyone, but I wasn't able to because I didn't have money. But yes. Anyway, we're human. We talk about these things. We talk about school because most of the time I work with Blue Rep. It's the premier musical theater org in the Ateneo. So I worked with Blue Rep and their students. So most of the time they talk about school and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's what we usually talk about during auditions. We talk about the way you look. We talk about the way you sing, the way you sound. If there's a dance audition, we talk about your movement, if we like the way you move. Because sometimes there are people who are very awkward, okay? There are a lot, to be honest. After auditions, another secret, I guess, is we automatically try to cast you, even if there are callbacks. We automatically try to cast you. So we see if we have enough people for roles, right? Like, that's what I did for Theory of Relativity and Bring It On, so that we could see if we needed to add more people for callbacks. So yeah, that's what we do. After the end of each audition day, we fix who we want to call back, especially for roles. We check if we have enough, and then usually we send out already the callback materials. If we don't remember you, we look at your video. Because usually theater companies do take your video so that they can recall who you are, what you sang. Because we do take notes, guys. We write down what you sing, how you sound, like how you look. We write it down. And I have mine. They're just scattered here in the room. But I do have like notes on people. So yeah, that's what we do after the end of each audition day. If we don't remember you, we look at the video, we try to remember who you are, and then try to fit you in a role. If not, put you in some. If not, then we have the I'm sorry, we can't accept you pile. But yes, we do have that pile, the no pile, which is like no chance, no way. Hercules, JK. But yeah, that's what happens during auditions, and those are my tips for you guys to stand out during auditions and secrets from a panelist. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like it. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I will see you on my next video. Break a leg. Mahal ko kayo. Bye!